everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Caffeinated Librarians. We have a full house. Going from this way, who are we?
I'm Joe.
Katie.
I'm Lewis.
Amanda.
Amanda's having a tough time today.
Ben.
Get it together, that table. Get it together.
It's the drugs.
It's all the caffeine.
It's the gummies.
Oh, those jelly beans.
So, what are we doing today, Amanda?
Today, we are taking a break from viewing something and discussing things in the realm of media. And, since, the beginning of the Caffeinated Librarians, we've had a slew of hosts come on and off, and now we have a full family. So I think it's about time we really got to know us outside of our movie and music tastes.
I really hope you're going to ask, deep, dark secrets.
There might be. It depends on how deep you want to go with these questions.
I think we should go as deep as we can.
I don't even know.
It should definitely be a question about what crimes we have and have committed.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I exist if there's no movie knowledge.
Maybe there's a movie question. I don't know.
Huh.
Who has been outside of the movies?
What movie has scarred you the most in your life?
Never-ending story.
Yeah, I think we established
And he
that
just
last
goes
week.
into the void. He stares.
Was it the giant turtle or was it the death of the horse?
Yes.
At least it was a movie that wasn't afraid to kill a horse.
Simona, all of the above. All of the above.
So jumping in, what we're going to do is I have a box full of questions. And I'm going to pass it around, and each of us are going to ask a question for everyone to answer. And at the end, they will answer the question themselves. I think that is a fair way to go about it, unless anybody objects.
No, sounds good.
So let's jump into it. So, first question. If I can get it open. What do you do when no one is around? Who wants to
What a way to
start?
start. Ben?
I can break my rule.
What do you think, Ben?
We go in this direction.
So we could go that direction. Whoever wants to start it off first.
What do I do when no one's around? That's the question?
Yes, what do you do when no one is around? Now, be fair, this is a family-friendly podcast.
Family-friendly podcast. You know what I do?
This is a Christian channel.
Movies and TV shows that I know my friends and family would not be interested in watching. So I get to watch the stuff that I really want to watch. No friend. I know I keep mentioning the show over and over again, but none of my friends or family watch Euphoria. So when I'm by myself alone, that's when I get my chance to catch up on a show that I think is pretty kick-ass.
Nice. I feel that.
Not alone most of the time, but I know that there are certain things that my mom is not interested in watching that I'm interested in watching, so
She just stole my answer.
I watch Critical Role Dungeons and Dragons campaigns because I love watching them, and I miss playing Dungeons and Dragons because I used to play when I lived up in Albany, and it was a lot of fun. But that's what I do.
Are any of us really ever alone?
Yes. Yes, Lewis.
Or do we always have... Never mind.
Someone in our
He has
heart.
friends inside.
We can go very deep and spiritual with this.
If you think your stuffed animals are real, then that's fine.
I used to love my stuffed animals.
I drive with a
so
little
cool.
plushy
Yeah.
Grim Reaper in my car, and he's got a little...
I think they're still
Friend.
somewhere. My mom probably has them in her basement or something.
And we had an episode where we bring stuffed animals. And
Yes, I have so many.
I've got a little Scooby-Doo in my room, so I'll bring him in.
Cool.
Aww.
We'll have a little slumber party.
What do I do when I'm alone? I watch YouTube videos a lot, just out loud on my phone. Blast some music. Then I talk to myself.
Nice.
Sometimes it's just nice to hear your voice.
Yeah.
So when I'm alone, I watch a show that my family does not want to watch with me. It's called Euphoria.
Kindred souls.
Just stealing that from Lou just to piss him off a little bit.
You're already losing.
I'm rarely alone because I live with my parents and my sisters. But I guess it'd be the same thing. Whenever I am alone, like listen to YouTube, or if I have a book, like read a book. It's very dull.
Like the book that you bought, the second book for Crescent City that you bought, and
Finished in like 2 days.
I told you it was gonna happen.
Is it
like
out?
A week
Is it
and a
out?
half.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, it came out. February 15th, but
Cool.
I have to wait.
And now I
'cause
feel
have
so
to
bad
finish.
because I finished it.
I know.
I could reread it, but
You could, but I have to wait to read it because I still have to go through the first book. But
Does anyone ever just sit there and just like stare and just
No.
enjoy the quiet?
No.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I
you gotta
can't.
just space out.
Sometimes
That's
I just
sleep
enjoy
time.
quiet, you know? So like I'll sit there and I'll look out the window or something like that, not really thinking anything. All right, never mind. Let's just
Look,
No, I
sometimes
think it's cool that you got 2 answers.
that happens at work.
Sometimes I'm like a Victorian aristocrat, and I just have to like lay down in the middle of the day and be like, okay, I need this right now.
you mean
I like
taking
that.
a nap? Taking naps are great. It's great.
Ben,
When I'm alone,
Might just make you
I-
alone.
I'm either. It definitely means I'm having beer because I'm not being monitored. When I'm not being monitored, I just have more fun and have more beer. Probably playing my 4th or 5th run of Days Gone. I think it's like this really underrated game that got a bad rap early on, but like Cyberpunk fixed itself, and I think it's pretty fantastic. It's on the PlayStation. I can only write my screenplays when I'm by myself. If there's anyone around, I can't do it. It's like it's one story that I'm basically rewriting for about 3 years now, and keep submitting it. Keep getting like mixed responses from it. Some of the festivals seem to really dig it. Some don't. But I just keep trying to make it better and make it more personal.
Can we read it?
When it's finished, again.
when you get famous, will you still remember all of us?
I'm going to probably utilize all of you in it in one way or another because I need free
I'm a
help.
heavy critique person.
Uh,
I will
I
demolish
can act.
you.
I've acted before.
yeah, good.
Not well, but I
Well, I really try to go with talking as little as possible
Nice.
in anything. I think that's part of the visual medium of films. Less
Sometimes
talking,
actions speak louder than words.
especially in movies. They really should.
Yes.
And I just go through movie clips. I watch so many movie clips, just all the time. Any free moment I get, I'm going to like a scene from The Dark Knight Rises or like some movie that, something from Serendipity or Casablanca or anything. Just anything and everything. I love watching clips from movies that I love.
The Big Movie Clips YouTube channel is just.
I think there's literally
literally
a thing called movie clips.
It's like they sort of understand the what I care about because it's broken down to the perfect 2-minute and 42-second clip of
It's
a
just
movie.
like, I need to see the toilet scene from Trainspotting right now.
No, that entire scene made me gag. I can't watch that scene at all.
Man, but the scene from the
No, I
end
know
of
what you're
Trainspotting 2, where Begbie is about to kill
Oh my
Rent Boy,
God. I think Trainspotting 2 is very underrated.
it's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, too long of an answer.
No, you're
I
good.
like that.
Good.
That's good.
What I like to do when I'm home alone is, like everybody else at some point, is just kind of like watch movies that nobody else would watch. But I like watching really scary, gory movies, or I go online and I like looking up what people are like, this is like the scariest movie I've ever seen. And I'm like, is it? And I put it on and then I feel underwhelmed.
You're like my older sister. My older sister was like, everyone was saying this is supposed to be scary, but I didn't find it scary. And then she has this whole thing where about what equals horror. I'm like,
That's
what
me.
different types of. You're both snobs. She's like,
I'm a
it's not really
snob.
horror. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's a type of horror, but I was like,
I don't think about that. Like, there's a different horror I do enjoy, like,
Yeah.
more than others, and I really like well thought out. Like, when I see a movie monster, I like to know the motivation of the movie monster. Like, is it like a feral creature, and it's been, like, living in this house, and, like, then some people just kind of come up, so it's, like, technically a survival-based, I don't know. But, like, there was, like, one movie on Netflix that people were talking about, it just dropped, it was a Spanish horror film. And everyone was like, it was
It's called Dos, right?
No.
Two?
No, it was something else. It was like a woman's name.
Veronica.
Yes,
Yeah.
I absolutely hated
It was
it.
alright.
I hated it. There was like their one good jump scare scene was like the mattress scene, but then everything else that was, I'm like, I'm like, I don't mind a horror being predictable because bad things are just going to happen anyways. The more they play with, Ouija boards and satanic rituals.
Continue to do that.
Why would you do that? Especially like not researching it beforehand and figuring out what you should say goodbye to the spirit.
Because people are idiots.
Because
They
I think you think to yourself,
And peer
I'll be
pressure.
the lucky one that will get the kind demon coming in.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's such a thing.
So I like watching controversial films that are like, people say, oh, it's the most scariest film, oh, it's the goriest film. I love gore, so Brian will not watch
What's that?
gory films with me.
What's that Iranian film that is a horror film that's on Netflix that is apparently...
The vampire one, right?
I don't know. I haven't
Ooh.
seen...
That one's great.
Is
I hear
it
it's
the woman
Eric.
who walks alone?
Yeah, that's it.
No, not...
That's a vampire
That's very
film.
good. That's
Yeah.
The Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
I saw an interesting Iranian horror film. They were about like jinn, and it was very
Jinns
cool.
are incredibly horrifying because if you think about like you grew up with Aladdin and the genie, you think that genies are like good wish granting things, but they're actually like evil demons that
exact
come from
opposite.
like interdimensional space and they're just a-holes.
Amanda, you just I just want to say you could have said way better because there's a child. You just destroyed someone's childhood right now.
Good. Education. This is an educational podcast now. Anyways, I like
Critical
watching
demon theory.
critical. We need it. Solomon's keys. But I do enjoy that. I try to read books that are not on my list, but I end up failing most of the time because then I want to play Pokemon all the time. So I sit there on the couch in the same spot for like 5 hours playing Pokemon. When I'm not doing that, I enjoy when nobody's really home. Like nobody. It's quiet. I do like to dance around and I do like to sing while I'm doing other things like chores because I like to clean and organize.
You won't
But-
sing in front of people?
Not really, no.
How about right now?
My family is all karaoke
Give
people.
us a show.
I hate it now.
I'm picturing Time of My Life.
It's a little more hardcore than that, but so it depends on what I'm feeling that day.
See,
I feel like you're a Bon Jovi always type of girl. You said more hardcore?
I'm like wearing Daft Punk on my like shirt. I'm into anything that makes me like move around, and there's like sometimes when I'm into things that I'm like I really like feel
House
like
of Pain,
like a
Jump
punk
Around?
today. That's a good one. I would do that if it came up on my Spotify. I'd be like, oh hey, I do like the 80s. I like screamo. I like emo music. I like techno. I like country occasionally. It depends on who it is. Like Darius Rucker, love him for some reason.
He's like
Just
the
makes
most
me feel good.
country singer.
Right though? There's like these like genre breaking people right now and I'm just over here like if it makes me feel like good though, like I dance around a little bit, then I'm like, this is good, I like this. Or it makes me want to headbang a bit, I'm good. So that's where my category lies. So that's what I do when no one's around is I watch extremely grotesque gore films and I laugh and I have a good time. Sometimes I doodle.
Good. I would also like to quickly add to my answer. I also love playing Uncharted.
That's a good one.
Uncharted 4 is my favorite.
Is that A Thief's End?
Yes.
The last
not.
one is.
I've only started Uncharted 2 for the first time ever.
Oh, that one's a good one.
Yeah.
I love Uncharted.
Such a good game series.
It is a good theme series.
It's so
Yes.
short though. It feels so short because it's all like quick time events. It
It
feels
is.
like so. It's like
Yeah. But yes, Uncharted is the best game.
I hear. Listen, my big brother stands
Yeah.
with you on that. Do you have a specific memory, good or bad, from your high school days? Go.
Okay. High school. So, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm not originally from Mayapack. Hold your surprise.
buddy.
Yes. I'm originally from Westchester County, specifically Mount Vernon. Vernon, yeah.
Call out.
Yeah, we've had some progress over the years. Not much, but we're getting there. So, I attended Mayapack High School.
Oh,
What I will say, I know,
lucky.
for anyone who knows not Mayapack High School, Mount Vernon High School.
I was gonna be like lucky.
I know. So for anyone who knows Mount Vernon High School, a little bit of history. It was the first integrated high school in the north in the 60s. Things were a little rough, but then it got better and then it got worse again. I unfortunately went during one of the worst periods, but I managed to survive. Actually, I had worse feelings about middle school, believe it or not. I hated middle school with a passion. I wanted to get out as
The
quickly
middle
as
school is the
possible.
worst of the schools. Yeah.
Yeah, especially, mine. Bad memory. I don't really have a bad memory. I have a funny memory. So, the one time I decided I was gonna cut a class, I know, hold the shock. I cut class. I decided I was gonna be out there, do the bad thing. I got caught by my mom.
Some of the bad girl.
Strolling out there in the lawn. I cut art.
What did you do, like while you were cutting the school?
Nothing. I just
Walked in the circle.
left. I walked on the lawn, but I think it was with one of my friends. I was feeling very proud of myself. Like I did the bad thing for once, you know.
You didn't even leave the school grounds, though?
I didn't leave the school grounds.
Oh.
I was in the process of leaving the school grounds, and my mom decided she was going to get there early to pick me up.
Surprise.
Surprise! And she was like, "Don't you have class?" I was like, "Yep, but I'm not in there right now."
Simona.
I know.
Wait.
You couldn't
cut
even
the last
lie.
period of the day when you get a ride home.
Yeah, well, I always got rides home.
No, but like, why would you?
This was
You know, it's an interesting.
not using strategery
Yeah.
here.
Listen, do not judge me.
No,
do not judge.
no judgment. Just trying to understand.
Yeah, we're curious about the putting this puzzle together.
There wasn't. Listen. Like,
That was a tough needle to thread.
Smells like my mom's not coming to pick me up today. Just get my
I
friends
was
to
not
pick me.
thinking. It was just like I hated art class. I was like, I don't want to go.
Oh, all right.
That's like the most fun class. All
I
you gotta do is
bar-
draw
I
like
bar-
a stick figure and
No,
it's
no,
like
I
done.
barely passed art, and I had people that were like
Who is this teacher?
artistes, and I was like, why am I even here? You know, I took advanced placement. I thought this is going to be a breeze, advanced
You
placement.
took AP art?
Yes.
That's a thing?
Yeah, you can because the way that you were
And
taught art
I
is like the
failed.
ancient ways. Is copy is
Apparently
the best
my
form to learn.
portfolio wasn't good enough.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, she's bitter about it too.
I'm very bitter. But yeah, I survived. You know, I still had my yearbook with my friends saying we finally got out of this hellhole. Woohoo! So that was my high school
You were still in AP art, so you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, that means you must have been decent at art.
To be, you know, honestly, to be fair, to pass in my high school, you just needed to like be there and breathe. It really wasn't that difficult. I'm sorry. It's the way it is. I was part of the top 21 though of my graduating high school class.
Out of.
Listen, there were a lot of people that attended my high school. I was number like 17 or something like that.
Nice.
Up
Congratulations.
a little bit there.
I also,
I was low on the list, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I was pretty mid.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
I
my
somehow
place there.
stumbled into AP art myself, like my senior year in high school. And it was the opposite thing, where maybe they were all so talented, and I was like, what am I doing here? So I ended up just sort of
Yeah.
escaping when I could. But it was mid-period, so I would just lose the whole day like a proper class cutter
Yeah. Well, one of my fond memories before I go over to
before my mom picked me up.
yes. I'm never gonna live this down. I shouldn't have said anything. Well, one of my fond memories of art. This was not AP art. It was just a regular art class, and we used to play Uno. Or just play other games while everyone else was working.
Now I see
One
why
does
you
not
failed
simply
AP
play
art.
Uno.
Oh,
I went to Mayapack High School.
Lucky.
Oh no, there were some controversies during my time there that I won't get
Please.
into. Because I feel like
you just dropped
we
that bomb.
were too close in proximity to Mayapack High School and to my time there. So,
Aw.
What was your graduating year?
2016.
Interesting.
I'm the baby of the podcast.
That's right, because my 10-year anniversary was like 2 years ago.
But yeah, I mean, most of the stories I'm thinking of are very funny, but I feel like
Share.
If you share a bad one, I'll share a bad one.
Did you
My
have an
school was
art
brutal,
teacher
too.
named Miss Delaney?
I didn't know.
Okay. She's like one of my closest friends.
Yeah, I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one, and I'll tell you guys after.
You can't not. This is your answer.
Is there any way to censor a little bit of it?
Say it and then edit your answer out with a different voice later. But we need to know.
It could be any high school
black bar over
experience
your
that you
mouth.
remember, but if they're all bad, I will share. I'll make a deal with you. I will share you one of my worst memories
You
from
are-
high school.
I'm
You're God
going to
mode.
cut this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
We're back from the censored area. I did have some very good teachers there. Shout out Miss Lomgardo, shout out Miss McKeon. Yeah, okay. There you go.
Oh, I definitely got some controversial teacher things to talk about too. Now that you opened up that door.
Oh man.
Wait.
I think we all had a weird controversial teacher moment.
Oh, we definitely had a weird controversial. Okay, so I did not go to school at Mayapack High School. I went to school at John Jay in East Fishkill, Dutchess County. I hated high school. Do I have fond memories of high school?
It could be a good or a bad memory.
Okay. So it's okay.
Okay.
Okay. I actually had one of my friends who then didn't end up being my friends, threatened to beat me up and tried to get people to actually beat me up for her. That was fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What's her name? We'll take care of it.
No, it's okay.
Yo, I got
I
ways.
think- well, she actually tried to start a fire in the girls' bathroom, and one of the special ed, this is my senior year.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
gross.
and
Psycho.
one of the special ed teachers found it and like stomped it out, and we all had like the fire drill and whatnot. And then probably like a few days later, she started bragging about it in front of the school security guard.
What an idiot.
Yep, and she got arrested. So
Good.
yeah,
The hit was off.
yes, it was. The only really good memory I have is lunchtime, and I got to sit with my friends at lunch and hang out, and that's to the extent of it. Yeah. I found out years later from my mom that my guidance counselor said that I wasn't college material because of my learning disability. Oh yeah.
God.
Yep. Yep.
Now look at you. You're like the expert in like history.
I hope she's watching this podcast right now.
You look her in the eye right now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I found out later on, too, from my classmates that she actually lost her job because she was doctoring her own son's grades because he was failing.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
karma. Yeah, but I hated high school. I was much better in college, so.
College seems like to be the better.
College rocks so
Yeah.
hard in comparison.
You don't have to talk to anybody.
No.
When you
So,
do talk to somebody, it's like, oh.
Those are my memories of high school. I was
Okay.
just glad to leave it.
Lou.
I liked high school. I had no problems in high school. I loved college. There is a story that I'll tell you guys when the cameras are off about high school. I have way too many college stories, but the one high school story I will tell is so we had a student teacher come in and do our Italian class for like the last half of senior year, and she was very pretty, and she was younger, like she was like 21, 22. So on my 18th birthday, I turned 18, and I walked into her office, and I said, and I was just about to graduate too, by the way.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, Miss Amadeo, I'm 18. How about you and I, we go get a drink or something. So she looks at me, taps me on the head, and walks away.
Oh!
And I remember that very well. That was a happy story. You don't have to look sorry.
Young Lou spitting game.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm
Yo,
just
he went after the teacher.
impressed.
Yeah.
Did you go to Mayapack High School?
I did not. I went to Austin High School.
Okay.
Oh, so you hit on your teacher.
Oh yeah. I sure
He
did.
had that.
She wasn't really. She was a teaching assistant.
She's a
Teacher.
Student teacher.
Yeah, student teacher. She
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
really like
That makes it better.
She was like a college kid that was,
Yeah.
kid like doing whatever college kids that are becoming teachers need to do.
Aw.
Student teaching. Student
Yeah.
teaching. There you go. Student teaching.
Yeah. Good times.
So I didn't even go to school in this state. I'm from North Carolina originally.
Ew!
I know.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Totally kidding.
Don't worry, every time I see North Carolina pop up on the news and I'm like, what did you do now? Why are you making me look bad? I do have an accent, I just don't use it. I got very good at imitating normal.
First of all, there is no normal. You do you.
Look, I've perfected the New York one, okay? I only get Southern when
you're closer to
when I'm mad.
Oh.
Or I'm watching Justified. Because then I feel like it's appropriate.
I gotta watch Justified. I want to see Walton Goggins as a cowboy.
Oh, he's so good. Anyways, so I went to a high school called Mount Tabor High School in North Carolina, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. My school was weird. So it was considered like a really good high school. Like it was like on the tops. They had like really good test scores. But I guess during the years I was there, the test scores started off really good and they started just to kind of decline.
Oh boy.
I don't know if I have good memories because I did like, I guess you guys here have like BOCES, which is like you can go to Mayapack High School or you can go to BOCES.
It's the trade school where you learn trades, yeah.
So I went to something like that instead. It was called Forsyth Tech because
Okay.
it was in Forsyth County. So I went to that kind of high school thing, but only Forsyth Tech for the last 2 years. One of my, I don't know if I have like good memories. They were kind of weird. I missed out on a lot in high school because when I was at Forsyth Tech, I didn't get to experience all the cool like fights that happened while I was here. While I was there.
I don't think you missed.
No,
much.
I missed one. Apparently there was one of the ones I remember vaguely was that I got to the school and everyone was talking. I'm like, what happened? And someone was like, so outside the Spanish room, 2 girls like fought each other. I'm like, oh, it couldn't have been that bad. No, one girl got arrested.
Schools, people doing it on desks, people fighting, people burning garbage.
Well, these girls got into a
schools did you
massive
guys
fight
go
and one
to?
got arrested.
Well, there were fights at my high school too. I just didn't.
Goodness.
I
In my high
neglected
school,
to-
the Bloods and the Crips threw down their colors and were going to have a fight in the lunchroom.
Nice.
We had a thread of that, but we weren't sure if it was real or not, or people were just talking.
No.
There was at the time, earth science teacher, he's no longer there, he got fired.
Oh,
My first year as my freshman year of high school, I took this guy for earth science. I don't even remember his name, but I remember what he looks like. He wasn't a great teacher. This was during the time when High School Musical came out, the first one. And we would go during class and go on the Disney Channel website via his computer and write like nasty letters to the High School Musical cast. I remember that. I did all the work I was given. He would give a worksheet, so I'd actually be sitting on my desk being a good student, but the classes were mixed, so we had like, juniors in the class. And I sat next to this girl who I swear to God, like, when weed was kind of a problem, when it wasn't accepted. She came on like stoned at AF, and he got arrested actually for what I was told the rumor of being was that he, had a relationship with this girl. And I was just like, oh, that makes a lot of sense because it always felt like there was a weird thing between them. There was a memory of actually that kind of inspired my career to go towards like, libraries. Was actually, you were talking about how you almost skipped class. Almost. Until your mom came up.
Yes.
For a good year, I was part of a newspaper class towards the last class of the day. And I was the book review / comic writer for the newspaper because I hated doing sports and I hated the rotational and nobody knew my name. I had an alias.
Oh.
What was it?
Pip. It's my nickname. So when I would have to sit there in class for a roll call during exam week, it would be like, Amanda. Everyone would be like, who's Amanda? And I'm like, right here. So during that class, since I was the book reviewer and I had to go and read books, I went to the library. And I actually didn't read a lot of books while I was in there. I did, but I actually helped out in the library. I actually became like a clerk, like a little volunteer clerk,
Cool.
and some kids are really, really dumb.
Yeah.
We have a project at Mount Tabor, I don't know if it still happens, called the Around the World in 80 Days, where you're given a country and you have to do a whole project on it, or you don't graduate that grade. They hold you.
What country did you have to do?
Well, my unit decided to go on genocide, was the theme,
Oh.
which was great.
Nice
Only
lighthearted
2
theme
classes
there.
decided to do it. So I got Romania, which coincidentally I went to the next year.
Wow.
Because of Holocaust history that they had denied, which was incredibly difficult to find information on.
Yeah.
But that's I technically skipped class, and my teacher didn't know any better.
Oh.
So I literally sat there for a whole 2 class periods, and was like, I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. That's basically what I just sat there and I did nothing. No kids came to check out any books. I was just like, and now I know why school librarians are so grumpy. So.
I think I'm the only one here that went to high school in the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Best memory, bar none, is just me and a couple of my dearest friends at the time, Joey and Melanie. We sat at the top of our mutual friend Justin's neighborhood court cul-de-sac. We were playing CDs in a boombox. Just I think Joey was bringing Korn, and Melanie had Tori Amos, and I think I had the City of Angels soundtrack or something like that, or maybe Celine Dion, whatever it was. It was 98, summer 98. That's it. And it was I don't think I was particularly a really kind person at that point in my life, but I think they kind of saw me as that, and I think they sort of taught me how to be that. Never forget it. It was just before school ended, but no one was graduating that year. So
Cool.
Nice.
I think it's that song with the violin, Celine Dion, "To Love You More." Gets me every time. Oh yeah,
Did you go to Maypac High School?
Carmel,
Carl.
even worse.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Good old Carmel.
Thank you.
I think we're really learning about something. Learning
Are we
something about
going
each
to be
other.
able to air this episode?
I don't know.
I didn't tell my prom story for the sake of the podcast, so.
That was funny. I remember that prom
Oh
story.
yeah. It was a great day.
I want to know who Miss Amadeo is now.
Me too. I've actually looked around since
Facebook.
high school. I haven't been able to find it. So if you're watching,
She knows. Okay, what would you be if you had to wear one Halloween costume every day for the rest of your life?
What is the question?
What would you be if you had to wear one Halloween costume for the rest of your life?
Joe was like,
He's
I've got options in my head already.
So it's like,
Let's see. Pirate's probably pretty high up there. I think that'd be fun. Dress like pirate all the time. Yeah, you know, I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with pirate. You know, you get the big stupid earrings. You get funny hats.
I like it.
Get
Eyeliner.
to mess around a lot. Yeah.
eyeliner, cool scars, tattoos.
Actually, the one and only time I dressed up for Halloween.
What?
One and only. Samantha.
I know. If I disappointed you with the cutting story, this will disappoint you even more. So the first time and only time I ever dressed up for Halloween, my good friend who I've known since the 3rd grade, shout out to Crystal, begged me, let's do Halloween together. So I was like, okay, fine. So I went shopping and I got a fairy costume, but it was awesome because it had black wings. I had a little wand thing, and this guy that she knew, which thank God he left her life really quickly, thought I was a bat, and I'm like, no, I'm a fairy. Get it right. Yeah, but then this one guy this was actually kind of sweet. He's like, "Are you an angel?" And I was like, "No, I'm a fairy." He goes, "Well, can you bless me?" Or I said, "God bless," and then I continued to walk.
That guy went on to good things.
The one who asked for the blessing
Yeah.
probably did. The other guy, not so much. But I'm sorry, Katie.
okay. So it didn't specify if it had to be the cheap costume from Party City or
No.
Okay. So if I had to choose, I'd go for the whole authentic historian, factually correct costume. history costume and probably go as just some person from the 17th century colonial era, because I think the dresses are really cool. So
That's nice.
yeah, I have nothing really specific. Probably a witch.
Probably she's reading. What's wrong with you?
Leonardo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Easy.
Oh, I thought when you said Leonardo, I thought you were going to go for DiCaprio. I was like, oh, that would have been so nice.
It's weird. I have a shot between two. So last Halloween, if you were on the Mayapack website and you know on our Facebook page, I dressed up as Mothman. I made the costume myself.
Amazing.
I would wear that all the time. It's really hot though. I'm not gonna lie. The fabric I chose is way too heavy. But I would be Mothman all year round. I would go everywhere as Mothman. 100%. But I'm also fascinated by sheet ghosts. Just the classic
Just have
ghost
the
of the sheet. Like
over
yeah,
your
there's
head.
that movie Ghost Story.
Yeah.
Like that. Like the old classic just sheet ghost. I love that because I feel like you can be spooky in it, but at the same time it's like there's so many things you could do that's so fun and stupid looking, and I love that look. I want the derpy looking thing. I just want to sit everywhere as a sheet ghost. So I would either go as Mothman or sheet ghost.
Do it. I'll give you $15. You show up tomorrow and just wear a sheet ghost thing.
I'm going to Walmart later tonight. Gonna get some white
15
sheets. That's all I want. I want to like black the eyes out so you don't see my eyes. Just sheet ghost with Converses
Pretty cool.
and striped leggings.
So generally, I think I would love, there's a specific costume and a general costume. Generally, I dig the whole Newsies thing with
Nice.
like
very
the
nice.
The paper boy.
the bowling hats, the suspenders, the rolled up sleeves. I always thought that was a cool look. And if you had to wear something every day, that could pass. But the Crow, I love the Crow.
So
Well,
edgy.
which version of the crow?
Brandon
Yeah.
Lee's The Crow or the graphic novel that came before.
Okay, because the other crows are kind of lazy. Think about the marker one.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Oh, the one with the actor that was in Terminator movie, the second one who played her son.
Oh, Ed Furlong.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
his version. They just got lazy.
That was like
with
the
that
fourth movie.
Yeah.
And they
They're
were
just
direct to
tired.
video by that point by
One.
a long.
He just like
yeah.
draws it. I was like, you're lazy.
The second one wasn't that bad though. The one with Vincent Perez. It wasn't great, but it definitely had style to
The only one I saw was the one that Vincent Perez had acted in.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good.
it. Yeah, I had no problem.
Freaked me out.
And had a lot of like vibrant neon color. It was the stark opposite of the look of the original Crow. But either way, the Crow gets to have long hair, gets to wear cool face makeup, just wears cool coats.
Simona, but what would your costume be? You didn't answer.
Oh,
I bet.
someone who successfully cut a class. I have no idea. Maybe Buffy. And
A fairy?
There it
Don't
is, yeah.
say anything.
A fairy dressed like a bat,
Buffy as
blessing
a fairy
someone while giving them the middle finger and walking away.
with an angel halo.
That's
That
good.
is a lot more badass than I could have ever imagined. Thank
That's
you
what
for
you
it.
did. I appreciate you.
What was your favorite activity as a kid?
Oh, favorite activity as a kid.
How do we define kid?
Yeah.
I would assume child age.
Like
Yeah.
under 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
going like
well-
before teenager.
Under 12 years old, I had this, this is a really great memory actually, and my mom brings it up all the time, but I had this like play stove and oven and microwave, like a kitchen set, and I would play waitress, and I'd go up to her with my little pad and a pencil, and I go, "How much you like?" That's all I would say.
How much you like.
Yeah, and my mom would say what she would want, and I would say, "We're out," and she'd be like,
Oh,
What kind of business is this?
keep going.
Not a very accommodating waitress.
And then she would say, "Can I get some water?" And I'd say, "We're out." And she'd be like, "Well, what type of restaurant is this?" I just laugh and go about my business. But
Can I do that for people that ask about taxes?
How
We're
much
out.
want? Just how much want?
How much you like? No, I was saying how much you like.
How much you like?
So that was I think one of my favorite activities as a child.
Under 12, I guess sports. I liked playing basketball, football, and soccer a lot, and baseball. And probably video games. That was probably the prime video game time in my life was those days. Yeah. Sega Genesis, Dreamcast.
Lucky. I liked drawing a lot. I liked playing with this snake toy that I constantly had and it trying to eat my dinosaurs. Because I liked snakes a lot until I saw a real one. That was the eye-opener, but I still like them. And there was this little fairy teapot my grandma had that you could open it and it was like a little house and nursery and it had like little fairies and I used to play all over the house and like put all the little pieces like everywhere. So I had dollhouse like stuff, but I'd say my favorite activity was probably drawing the most. So, because me and my grandma would both do it.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Just movies. I was watching movies. I mean, I could add video games, but it would be like 80% movies, 20% gaming. Movies were like my everything, my babysitter, my hobby, my pastime, everything. I grew up just watching everything I could. That really hasn't stopped, so I'm not grown up yet.
Yeah, I'd say my movie fandom really began at like 13, for reasons I'm not going to get into on the podcast. But yeah, I would say I actually kind of remember when I really started getting into movies, but I'd say it was about 13.
I was definitely like 8, 9, and then I just realized all I wanted to do was watch these and pretend I was the characters and watch more and all that.
I think for me, I used to draw a lot too when I was a kid. Like when I really got into Dragon Ball Z, I started designing my own characters with their power levels and their outfits. I was very proud of myself when I drew those things. And I'm making Amanda laugh. I don't know.
Do you remember any of their names?
No, I don't.
You don't even know the main character's name.
Listen, I'm feeling judged. Don't judge me. No, it was like
Amanda, I can name their names, so.
No, it's the names of her OCs.
Oh, her
Oh.
OC.
Oh, you meant the Dragon Ball Z characters?
Were all their power levels over 9,000?
I don't think I got that complicated. But one of my
Real epic they did.
It didn't take 3 episodes for them to power up.
But yeah, drawing those and also like fond memories around like hanging out with my older brother, Manny, shout out, because I used to watch a lot of movies that we weren't supposed to watch with him.
Oh.
So it was like Enter the Last Dragon, which
Yes.
definitely should not have watched when I was. So those are good memories. I used to hang out with him a lot, just go with him in his room, we would just talk, and I really miss living with my brother. It was good times. So busy drawing. I used to like play games as well, not video games, because I didn't really play video games until middle school, and that was because my friend Crystal had video games. Because I always felt like I felt pressure because I couldn't memorize the controller, I wasn't that good, and my friend would be like, you're hitting the wrong button, so it was a lot of pressure for me, so I was like, okay, fine, video games are out.
Stop yelling at me.
Drawing.
I really liked building toys. Like I loved Legos. I loved Lincoln Logs. Even just like setting up like the Hot Wheels sets. I loved that stuff. Setting it up was honestly more fun than playing with it. But my movie obsession came later in like high school. Even now, if you gave me a Lego set, I would go nuts.
Oh, I love Legos.
My sister has a baby on the way, and I can't wait for that kid to be old enough so I can play with them.
Lego.
And congratulations.
Yes,
Congrats.
I'm very excited to be an uncle.
You're a young uncle. But that's what makes you cooler.
Yeah.
What's your horoscope sign, Chinese zodiac.
What? What is it? You mean like our
Like
But,
air
like,
sign?
your-
No, the Chinese
like-
zodiac.
There's either you can do like your like, you know, your
I-
zodiac sign or
You're
your
a tiger.
Chinese zodiac sign. Like there's an animal associated with the Chinese.
Yeah, I'm the
New
year of
Year.
the tiger.
Oh, so it's your year.
Yes.
I literally have no idea. I'm a Taurus though.
I'm a, well, not to get like convoluted here. I don't believe in it, but I did have a period in time which I was like, this is fascinating. I don't know the whole moon sign, sun sign thing because that's just way too much for me. I know that I'm born, my birthday is October 22nd, so I'm technically like a cusp between Libra and Scorpio, but I'm a Libra. And my Chinese zodiac sign is the Ram, and my element for the Chinese zodiac is metal. I know a lot because I got books.
Wow.
And I went hardcore. I was like, there's more! Except, as I said, I won't do the sun sign thing because that's just, I don't know what time I was born, so I don't know. So, hi.
I'm an Aquarius. It does not mean shit to me.
Same. Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
I'm Gemini.
1980. Oh, Gemini. Okay, cool.
Don't know if that means
I don't know what that means though. Like I don't know when an Aquarius was born or when a
Honestly,
Gemini.
every
Aquarius-
time I read Gemini traits, it never fits me. They always say I'm two-faced.
I'm really creative, guys.
But they say I'm two-faced, and I'm like, I am not two-faced.
You did try to skip class.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But
that's
very
dual identity
un-Simona.
right there.
I don't think I'm two-faced.
No, you're
As a-
nice.
I'm a Gemini too, and yeah, I always think they're so funny because it's always just like all the other ones are like, oh, you're like a born leader, and then Geminis are just like, you're evil, everybody hates you. And
That's
you're
not
like,
true. I was
like-
watching something because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like TikTok has a whole like astrology side that sometimes pops up on my For You page, and I'm like, why? And like yesterday, I was watching one just to like, you know, be like, well, okay, fine. How do they interpret things? They're like, Sagittarius is the most evil person on the planet, and you would never know it. And I'm just like, all right, all right. So I'm not that, but at the same time, I'm like, all right.
Okay,
And,
well,
yeah, and you're the tiger too. So.
Oh, it's your guys' year.
Big things are gonna happen.
well, I am Aquarius. I am the year of the horse. And I was born 3 o'clock in the morning. February 1st.
Ooh, you one-upped
I
Amanda.
did one.
I want to say that I was born like somewhere like 8 p.m., but
Yeah.
I don't know.
No idea.
But I tried to go online. They're like, you have to know the exact time, and I'm just like,
No, that's boring.
I'm sorry, Liz.
No, we're gonna talk about that soon. Let's see. Oh, this looks like oh. What embarrasses you the most, and or what's been your most embarrassing moment?
I actually prepped up for this one. So nothing really embarrasses me the most other than like when I'm a weeb out in public. And because for a while I didn't have any social cues, is what my boyfriend likes to tell me in the beginning. So sometimes I don't ask people about like themselves because I don't care. I really don't. But then I learned if you want to get to know people and you want people to like you, you should like do that. And it actually helped me out a lot because I'm a good listener though. So I've always been one of those people who's like, you want to talk, you just talk, and I don't really care or whatever. I'm not biased. So I do get embarrassed of the fact that sometimes I can ramble. So, and I can catch it. But at the same time, I still feel embarrassed after the fact. My most embarrassing moment was actually when I lived in North Carolina. I would come here to visit my father. And he lived in Mayapack, so I spent a lot of my time here at the library or at the gazebo in the little town park over here. There was a boy here I really liked, and there was a 2-week period I came here to decide whether I was going to move here or not. So I decided because I thought that we were really, we had been friends for like a year or two, and I thought things were going well. And so he was the first boy I ever told straight to his face that I liked him.
Oh.
And it was at the gazebo. And because he met up with me, I said, hey, do you think we can meet up? And he was like, sure. We met up, and we came on his bike, and he was like, what's up? So we talked for a little bit, and then I said, so I really want to tell you that I really liked you. And then he went, oh.
Oh, no.
And then he was like, I have to go somewhere. And then he rode his bike off.
Oh my God.
And later that day, I found out that he said he had to help, like something was going on with his parents, and I found out through friends that he didn't do that. And I was stuck for the entire day wondering if I had done something wrong. So that was my most embarrassing. We talked about it afterwards, and he didn't. He was just like, I didn't really know what to say, and I was like, that's fine.
No,
but maybe you should have texted me.
He goofed that one. That's on him.
So that was my most embarrassing moment. So.
He should be embarrassed. Yeah.
Oh, he did. He was later on.
Good. Good.
He was the one who went, I need to return some videotapes.
That's pretty much what it was. he had a bike, so he was like, phew. And I was just kind of stuck there like.
Oh, yeah,
I was in 7th grade, and I was crazy about Jill Batista, and I was awkward and had a growth spurt before anyone had, so I was like my height now, but I was 125 pounds and had the beginnings of a mustache and really hairy legs, but that was it. My voice wasn't anywhere. I was just a mess of a human being. Her friend told her I had a crush on her. She said that my legs were too hairy. So like any reasonable human being, I went home and dry shaved my legs and came back to school the next day with marked up, shaving cutted, half shaven legs, and God, they murked me. Honestly,
Wore shorts.
I not only did I wear shorts, I basically wore the worn jeans, cut them off at the knees shorts because it was the 90s. You know, you could get away with it, and I was kind of a little hillbilly, so I didn't really understand anything. But yeah, I kicked off basically like 2 decades of just being embarrassed of myself, and if I could erase my teens and my 20s and things like that I was awkward about and did, and things I said and ways I could just snap my fingers and forget all of it. I totally would.
My stepfather was the same. He had like a massive growth spurt. He was actually like a little chubby kid, and then he like whoosh, shot up like a shoot, and now he's like 6'4", 6'5", and
I don't even think I became like a fully formed human being until I was like 35. I just like didn't even really learn how to think properly until like my 30s. So it's never too late.
So one thing that I can think of that I still remember it, which is another reason why I never like talking about anyone's appearance or like rating, because I always feel like I remember this happening. And it was in middle school. It was like the end of the school year, and this one guy decided to rank all the girls by attractiveness and put it on the board.
Oh, that still happens?
So, well, this was in the late 90s. I don't know how kids these days do it. So we had okay, ugly, okay, and pretty. And my sincerest wish was just not to be put in the ugly category, because I was literally dying on the inside. I remember truly being mortified as he was ranking the girls. And thankfully he put me under okay, and I was like, okay, fine, so I'm not ugly. Okay, this is great. And then, so that's another reason why I really just hate when people just like, oh, who do you think is pretty? It's like, I don't like doing that. And the same thing happened to elementary school. I heard these guys talking about like what girls they'd want to date. This was in 6th grade. And essentially, like, someone mentioned my name, and I was pretending like I didn't hear anything, and they legit said that I was ugly and that they would never date me. So...
Jesus. Sorry, kids are brutal, man.
So,
Kids are brutal.
Kids are mean.
Yeah.
I think Freud was right.
I shouldn't say guys are awful.
Well, no, there were some girls like...
No, girls are
especially,
terrible.
Especially the girls that knew they were attractive. Like, you knew the girls that knew, like, I'm attractive. And, like, and it was just very awkward. Like, my teens were very awkward because, like, and even now I have issues. Like, I'm trying to, not to get all mopey and stuff, I am trying to learn to love myself and to think that I'm pretty. It's still very hard. I have a lot of confidence issues, so that didn't really help. Like, I just wanted to sort of get through school as quickly as possible. So, yeah, that was, like, my, like...
If it makes you feel any better, I think you're adorable.
Oh.
Yep. I think you're smashing.
Thank you.
All right. I think it was like 6th grade, 7th grade for Halloween. I went as Groucho Marx. Literally, no one knew who I was, and I was just like, "All right, guess I'm a weird kid."
No, I would have known who you were. I would have known.
And it was like adults too. I was like, "Oh, come on! Even the adults don't have me on this."
Oh no.
It's a funnier one. It wasn't
That's
too
just
bad,
genius.
but-
Yeah.
Okay, my most embarrassing moment. I have a few embarrassing moments, but this one I think takes the cake of embarrassing moments. So I was in 5th grade, and I was with my group of friends, and one of these girls who pretended to be my friend for whatever reason, and she was hogging the monkey bars, so I went to the other side to do the monkey bars, so I wasn't in her way or anything. She dropped down, and I think she was just trying to like grab my hips to yank me off of the monkey bars, but she ended up grabbing hold of my pants and pantsed me in front of everyone.
How old were you guys?
This is the 5th grade.
What a jerk.
Yeah. So,
That's old enough to know what you're doing.
Right. And so I told the lunch monitor that was there, and she just told her not to do that. And I told my mom, and my mom had a fit, and she called the school. And so,
Well, I'm sorry.
yeah, that was the topped my most embarrassing moment.
Wow.
I think that's, yeah. Follows you. Like, it's just like, yeah.
And
This is
I
an
never-
unpleasant podcast.
Lewis wanted us to get deep. He
Yeah.
was like, I want to know your deepest secrets.
Yeah, I do. I don't really embarrass easily. But the story that came to mind when you brought that up was, of course, it centers around a girl. I was trying to impress this girl in college, and she really liked to hike. I'm not the most physically fit person in the world, but I was like, sure, I'll go on a hike. And we went on this 7-mile hike, or I should say, we attempted to go on this 7-mile hike. I got up the mountain and then said,
Nope.
I think I sprained both ankles.
Oh,
And I mean, I didn't,
okay.
but I told her I did. And then they actually had to have somebody come pick us up. We got lost.
Oh,
It was, I guess it was embarrassing at the time, but it's kind of funny. I don't know. You know, I shot my shot. I missed.
Look, you made the effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hikes are rough, especially when it's 7 miles.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I would have ever done that.
All right, we've got some time for a couple more. So Lewis has gracefully handed me a question. Who's your go-to band or artist when you can't decide on something to listen to?
Oh, I get to start with this one?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Go-to band or artist. I'm blanking hard.
come on,
Band or artist?
Go that way.
Oh crap! I wasn't.
Reverse.
I got it. Nick Cave.
Ooh.
Go, Mona.
Lana Del Rey, Florence and the Machine.
Nice.
I listen to almost anything. That's why I'm so grateful for YouTube, because I found artists that you never hear on the radio. Another artist, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I think it's Fozia. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. She's fantastic. I love her voice. I love her song. She has a great song, Minefields with John Legend. A lot of like BTS is another one. For anyone who's surprised, I love BTS. They got great songs. So shout out
They
to
really
BTS.
do. I'm not gonna
Hopefully they
lie.
win the Grammy. They were robbed last year.
Beatles definitely. Steely Dan.
She's here. I have to go.
Oh. If you want to get this in quick.
Beatles, Def Leppard, and Pearl Jam.
Hell
Hey.
yeah.
And I'll throw in Of Montreal and Bowie.
Nice. I like it.
Bowie.
Pink Floyd, usually my go-to.
Which era?
I don't know, I think I like them all.
That's a cop-out.
It is kind of a cop-out.
Now I don't even think he listens to Pink Floyd.
It was just, Pink Floyd was the first one that came to mind because it was my most popular played artist of 2021 according to Spotify. So.
I'm one of the 10 people who's like, the Syd Barrett era, actually the best. So.
Oh yeah.
I go to Daft Punk if I want to dance around, or when I'm feeling really, really happy and I'm feeling kind of crazy.
Bon Jovi.
No! Wolf Mother, actually. I'm a huge fan of Wolf Mother, especially their first album, which is their self-titled album, Wolf Mother, with the additional song in there, because everybody misses that one when you try to pull it up on YouTube. So, Wolf Mother.
Cyndi Lauper when I want to dance. I love Cyndi Lauper. Girls just want to have fun.
I do like the 80s occasionally. Sometimes I go for Duran Duran.
The 80s were a great period in music. I know some people may not agree, but they were.
Brian disagrees with me, but every time I show him a movie and I'm like, there's an 80s song, and he's like, bopping. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, you're bopping.
Best 80s songs? This Must Be the Place, Talking Heads, and Age of Consent, New Order.
I agree.
That Love and Rockets song. That's what I'm thinking of.
I don't know that.
The one from the movie. Alive? So Alive?
Oh, yes.
Love it. The cars moving in stereo. Mm-hmm.
Can I change mine?
You can swap.
I don't know if you're going to like this one.
I don't know if you're going to like this one.
I'm a very
I like that
open
one.
book, so if you ever ask me about
Okay.
anything, I have nothing to hide.
All right, who is your hero? Go.
Oh, I don't really think I have one, to be perfectly honest. But what I will say, and I feel like I'm getting so sappy on this podcast, but if I ever do get a romantic partner, I think I have a good example.
Not if, when.
When.
Yeah, when?
I think I have good examples in terms of men from my father and my brother. The way they treat their families, treat their partners. It's good examples. My own grandparents. So I guess my memory card.
That's okay, we caught it though. And the camera's on small now.
Yeah, it can
Great.
go.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess my dad and my brothers like good examples of fathers and husbands. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Hold on, we're having a technical difficulties.
Give me one moment.
How about we go this way? Ben, how about you go?
My
He
hero?
asked the question.
Who's your hero? Oh,
We're back on. All right, Orson Welles. There we go.
Why?
Why not?
He was such a nasty man.
No, he was
Yes,
one
he
of the greatest
was.
to ever do it, so he's allowed to talk a little shit. That's how it
He
goes.
talked a lot of shit.
And look, you look at any of those and you tell me there's not at least a kernel of truth in them. Are you really telling me? He comes out at like age 25, drops one of the most technically accomplished films of all time, reinvents cinematic language, and then spends the rest of his life pursuing a singular artistic vision at odds with the Hollywood system because he was rejected from it nearly immediately. Ended up a truly independent artist and like one of the most noble filmmakers to do it. And look, I believe that as an artist, when you reach a certain level, you gain the ability to talk some shit about your peers.
That's fine. That's
It's
fine.
competitive, you know?
I heard he was just a very difficult person to work with.
No, most people who worked with him genuinely loved it.
Did they?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
like I've heard like Mike Nichols on like one of his earlier films worked with Orson Welles, and he said he was like the sweetest man you ever met.
So there, Amanda.
Fine.
Look, the wine commercial.
Have you seen
drunk,
I
Yeah.
love that one so the blooper.
He mistimed the sleeping pill, and
It was a sleep. Just thought he got drunk.
but no. Generally speaking, most people who knew him had positive things to say.
Okay. I've been proven wrong.
Back to me?
No.
Did it get bounced back to me?
We can, sure.
All right. Can I throw out 3 names quick?
Of course.
Go ahead.
Ed Burns and Kevin Smith, because they're 2 directors that, they touched Hollywood a little bit, but for the most part just make their work with their friends and family. And that's a level of independence and agency that you don't get to have in this business too often and be successful at it. They're amazing. Taylor Sheridan as a writer, because he's prolific and a lot of his focus is on the sort of plight of Native Americans, which is, I think, a topic that doesn't get its due respect.
I think you said 3.
He did 3. He did
Yeah.
Ed
Ed
Burns,
Burns,
and
Kevin Smith, Taylor Sheridan.
I must have missed the first one.
Oh,
Sorry.
no worries.
Oh, me next.
Awkwardly moving on then. Most embarrassing moment.
I don't really have heroes, but I have people I definitely looked up to. Tim Burton being one of them, because it just goes to show you that despite your drawings not being maybe like what people would conventionally say are works of art, he really went out there, got weird with it, and he has a lot of simplicity. He's just creative, and he doesn't despite the critics saying that his movies may not have been good, I love the creativity and the love that he clearly puts in every single film that he does. Mm-hmm. So, Night Before Christmas, he didn't direct it, but he did create the characters, and he got his job, and I have 2 autobiography books about him, because one of my favorite things about him is that he was hired because he drew on a napkin, and he got noticed for it, and the first movie he ever worked on was Fox and the Hound, and he would comment about how much he hated that film. He had to draw that fox, a gajillion times. He's like, I hate that fox. But that's passion. Movie. It really is. But I'd say Tim Burton, because he doesn't really care, and he's crazy and creative, and doesn't matter how good you have to be at art, you can still make it.
And he was great up until Big Fish, and then after
I love Big Fish. I actually met the author for that.
That was great.
Too.
But then after that, he lost something, except for Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd was great. Dumbo wasn't great, but at the same time, I felt as soon as I heard Dumbo, I was like, oh, Tim Burton and circus motifs. I was really excited. Not as much as I had wanted in the film from his craziness with circus motifs, but still fun. Probably my second person would probably be Oscar Wilde, the author. He really...
I'm sorry. You cannot come at me for Orson Welles and then pick Oscar Wilde.
Yes, I can!
He's got a point.
The reason I pick Oscar Wilde, he's not really much of a hero, I would say, but someone I do idolize as far as a literary writer. I happened to get my hands on, as a gift from my boyfriend's parents, the actual handwritten manuscript for Dorian Gray, which is my favorite book of all time. And it's kind of crazy to see how much they censored his work and why they censored his work. And I like that he went out there, and as much as he did censor it, he wasn't afraid to write what he felt was his truth and what he wanted to write in his books. And I really like when authors write what they want to write and aren't impeded by it. So I'm glad that years later, Barnes & Noble came out with a copy of the uncensored Dorian Gray, and I bought that. And we actually have that here at the Mayapack Library.
The uncensored picture
It's
of Dorian
supposed
Gray
to.
sounds odd.
Not like that. I mean, his portrait's
So
not
you
that
just
great.
said it's supposed to have smut.
It kind of does, because it does talk... the reason they censored it was for the homoeroticism, because during the time they didn't really want that, because there was a homoerotic relationship.
It still leaks through the pages.
He writes very provocatively, and I like authors that don't give a crap, and if that's the way he wants to write, it's the way he's going to write. And he protested a lot of that, and...
You could say he YOLO'd before YOLO was...
He did! So, I really like that he was kind of like a bad boy in literature, so... as far as that, I really don't have any big heroes.
Well, that counts. You had 2.
Yeah, people I look up to, I idolize, but I don't think of them as being my hero.
Batman, of course. my number one hero.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So a vigilante who breaks the law, I see.
Oh yeah, I'm all about that. Listen, I grew up idolizing Derek Jeter. I still think he's a hell of a human being, and does really awesome things nowadays too. Still look up to him. Still try to emulate him. And my mom. I mean, she raised 2 kids by herself, and one of them didn't turn out too bad. So
You just
that was a joke.
You're just
They both turned out bad. But yeah, no, she's
Can't do
Who
7
comes
mile
first, Derek
hikes.
Jeter or your mom?
Derek Jeter does, and my mom knows that. Yeah, actually, on her birthday was Jeter's retirement ceremony, and she actually got me tickets for that for her birthday.
Get away from me.
So
I know you were gonna skip anyway, so.
Yeah,
Cool mom.
yeah. She's a good lady, strong person. She's been through a lot of shit.
Simona has.
Oh, it's well, what skill would you like to master? For me, it would be knowing how to draw and knowing how to sing. Because, you know, as my mother told me when I was singing along to the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hellfire and
Such a good song.
yes, and my mother was like, Simona, I love you, but I was like, I could die tomorrow, and that's the last thing you said to me.
Well, she did fit in I love you.
True, but she broke my.
More in my
That's what I would
trust.
love, because I would love just to be able to belt it out and just have a voice, even if I didn't make it into a career, because I have such anxiety that I can never be in front of someone doing anything. So I'd be like, I just want to be able to belt it out and also to be able to draw. Because in my mind, I have these things that I would like to put on paper, but I just can't do it. It's like the talent skipped me in my family, because my
I
mom
feel
can draw,
that so
my
hard.
cousins can draw, my aunts can crochet and knit, and me, I'm like, well,
I like how you say you can't like be in front of someone doing anything, yet here you are in front of like 5 people expressing yourself like articulately and
see, that's
bearing
why I
your
love
soul.
Ben, because you legit, like, and I truly appreciate your compliments, because I legit
It's
don't
not a
feel
compliment, it's the truth.
I don't feel that way, but it took me a long time to be comfortable to be in front of the camera. Like, as Lou would know, when I first started this, I had this idea, I'm like, I want to do this, and it was like, great, on camera, I'm like, yes. So it took me a long time to get to this point where I was really comfortable, because like with my anxiety, my voice cracks. I have voice, so it took me a long time to get comfortable. But the people I work with help. You're all awesome. So.
You could say we're the heroes that came along.
Yes.
Caffeinated
You are.
Librarians. Gonna need a stamp, hero stamp. Bam.
Skill I would like to master. I'd like to like understand like some music theory. I think that'd be fun to be able to make some music, even if it's just like through DAWs and stuff, you know, because it's cool skill to have.
Would love to be a blacksmith.
Ooh.
I have a friend that does that,
Yeah.
actually.
Can you teach me?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I know he learned through somebody, because, like,
Every
Ren
time I
Fair
see
people...
the thing, the Lord of the Rings, when they're like
The
hitting the sword, I'm like, yeah, I want to do that.
What would you want to make if you mastered that? Like
Swords
what-
and knives. Obviously, I want to make weapons.
Please make me knives.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't that be cool?
If you ever master that skill, legit, maybe like a shield or something, or like.
Cool. All right.
Make me one of those daggers that you can, like, insert the poison in and just...
No, you cannot check that out.
Digital art. Because I'm so stuck in the era of which I doodle, and I doodle a lot, and I would love to be able to transfer that to the computer, because I see some of the crazy graphic design elements that go into it, and I did take graphic design in high school for 2 years. And it's one of those things where I would love to be able to transfer that, but I'm so picky because I have to look down and see what I'm drawing. And there are some tablets where you have to literally like look at the screen while also being on the tablet. And it's like the hardest thing. I would love to just be able to fiddle around with digital art and bring my art actually online.
I would love for you to do that, because I would check out your art in a heartbeat.
I also hate coloring my stuff. So I feel like going on the computer would be better to color.
Yeah.
Tap dancing.
My sister did that.
Tap dancing. Watching growing up watching Gregory Hines and Baryshnikov, tap dance doing White Nights, I think the movie was called. I wanted to do tap dancing my whole life, and I still haven't done it. I feel like there was a branch, a multiverse, alternate reality, where I became a globally successful tap dancer.
Maybe you did.
Cool.
But not in this one.
Not yet.
Not yet. 41, there's still time.
Yes, get your
My
script
knees are
out
already
there.
going
It's
bad,
never
but
too
there's
late.
still time. Speaking of not having any time, I have to go set up for gamers, so I have to tap out first.
I think that's probably a good point for us to stop anyway, right?
We
Yes.
can keep going. You better
So
put some
with
music in
that-
the background, because this shit's gonna get sad for people to watch.
Just put that SpongeBob like the little violin. And with that, I think we'll end the Caffeinated Librarians episode here. I hope you got to know
Favorite
Addison.
author, everyone, quick!
Oscar Wilde.
J.K. Rowling.
I don't know, Pigeon?
I have no idea.
You can't just throw that
Any
out there.
philosopher. I'm usually a fan of.
Who wrote Never Let Me Go? What's his name? Kazuo Ishiguro. Him.
Oh.
Yeah. Favorite author.
Patrick Rothfuss, in Name of the Wind. Everyone should read that book. The Name of the
Just keep
Wind.
name dropping.
Favorite movie before you go?
No, we already got.
One movie.
After the Wedding, Susanna Beer.
Never-ending story.
Time for Christmas.
Jurassic Park.
It's my number 2.
Please.
It's a hard choice usually. So with that, have fun. Please let us know about you. So please comment on either the Facebook or on the YouTube channel.
The Facebook.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.